Today we're going to look at if you're in baby step 2, according to the Ramsey method. For baby step 2 means you're paying off all your debt except for your mortgage. How on earth do you go about buying a car during that period? Getting out of baby step 2 is often the longest and the hardest step for most people. It's all about getting out of consumer debt and paying off everything except for your home loan or your mortgage. So what is debt? Debt is essentially an obligation or a responsibility to repay borrowed money or resources. It often involves borrowing funds from another or an institution with the agreement to pay it back in full, typically with added interest and in a certain amount of time. So in the Ramsey method, you may have seen or heard of the snowball method. So what is the snowball method? So the snowball method looks at your list of debts from smallest to largest, and then you pay off the smallest one as quick as possible while maintaining the minimum payments on the other items. So pay minimum on all the other debts and then throw more at the smallest debt. So you get that out the way. And then once you have cleared the smallest debt, you can use the payment you would have otherwise used for that to go and pay off the next debt, the next smallest debt. And then you keep repeating that, so eventually you get a bigger amount of payments to be able to launch at the next biggest payment, next biggest debt. And this is why it's called the snowball method, because each time you're increasing the amount that you've got to dedicate to paying off debt. So what if I'm in baby step 2 and I need a car? Do I need to go and take a loan out? Well, if you need a car, they suggest to stop all extra payments on your debt, paying the minimum, and start piling that at cash, and then accumulate that pile of cash by selling anything that you can, or working extra shifts, or going out and doing a side hustle, and saving up for a reliable cheap car for around $3,000 to $5,000. Now they always suggest looking at Toyota, Mazdas as some of the reliable older cars. So always buy used, never buy new. You can buy reliable cheap cars. Have a look on Facebook Marketplace or other car sales sites in your area, and don't forget to ask for a discount. But make sure you do your checks on the cars. Depending on where you live, in Australia there is a PPSR website from the government that you can go and search for the number plate of the car, and it will tell you if it's been stolen, if there's any finance outstanding on it, or if there are other encumbrances on it. And it will make sure that it aligns with the vehicle that they're selling you. So that's a really good tool. It only costs $2 for a search. Other websites can charge up to $40 per car search. So just make sure you check that out before you go and buy a car. Remember, this is not your forever car, but it is a step before you can save and upgrade to another higher debt vehicle, higher value vehicle with a few more mod cons. So what are some of the bad habits you need to avoid when buying a car? 1, taking out a loan. We shouldn't be thinking of taking out a loan in doing the baby steps. We've got to stop that behaviour. And stop thinking that you have to buy brand new, even though it may look like it's the only way out. And if you're in a rush, there's always this emphasis on you have to do it quickly. Then loans tend to be able to enable you to do that. But buying a brand new car, you're practically buying a whole heap of depreciation added into the cost of your car. And don't buy a car to impress others. This is a car to help you get by with no debt, to continue activities, to get you to work, to take The kids too, their activities is not there to impress everybody else. What are some of the good habits you must have to achieve this is to get on a budget and manage your savings. Work towards, after you've done paying off your debt, towards building an emergency fund for unexpected emergencies. And then eventually we'll get to grow your financial position by investing your money in baby step 4. So what are those steps again? 7 tips to achieving financial freedom. Baby step 1, save $1,000. This is an emergency fund. This is to help you not get into those it's very hard when you're first starting out not to think about taking out credit cards to cover some of the issues that you may be affecting you. So it's not if you need an emergency pair of glamorous shoes to go out somewhere. It's about having $1,000 there in case your washing machine breaks down or your dryer or tire needs repair. So that's the kind of value that the emergency fund is. You'll build it up a little bit later in baby step 3, but next, before you get to baby step 3, is to go to baby step 2, which is to pay off all your consumer debt, excluding your mortgage if you have one. So it tends to be the most longest and intense time. Most people on the Ramsey method are inspired to go hard at it. And if you're really struggling to find any margin in your budget, then it's often really good to take on an extra side hustle to try and help get on top of those extra debt payments. Baby step 3, build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and then you'll find that in that you work out your expenses for the whole month, so you need to do your budget. And then you can times that by 3 or times it by 6. At a minimum 3 months. You can start to feel a little bit more comfortable once you've hit 3 months, but 6 months is a great spot to get to too, especially if you're single or if you're down to one income in the family. When you've done all that, it's very exciting. You start getting to invest all those payments that you had previously put towards your debts into investment. So we're investing 15% of your income to retirement or for retirement. In Australia, that goes towards your superannuation fund. Currently, the government has it set at 11% anyway, but so for in Australia, you could put an extra 4% away to achieve this, whereas in other countries, this may go into your 401k or a Roth IRA, depending on how you've got your retirement savings set up. So 4, 5 and 6 steps. Baby step 5 is to save for your children's college fund, and that is to help them not take on student loan debt, which so many people have been lulled into thinking that is the only way you can go to college or university, when in fact there are other methods. It may be a little bit slower. It may take you to different places in order to do it cheaper, but the Ramsey method always suggests that you go for as many scholarships, you go to the cheaper college. Nobody asks you which college you go to when you're going and consulting or being a doctor. Nobody cares which one you are, so long as you're good at your job. So for baby step 5, save for a college fund for your children or a student university student loan, and they say to aim towards 20 to 60,000 a year. And then baby step 6 is to put any extra payments towards your mortgage now and to pay that off within 10 to 18 years, depending on the amount of mortgage that you have. And then finally, baby step 7 is about building wealth and giving generously. So I think this is one of the most attractive steps of the 7 baby steps of Ramsey's baby steps is being able to build wealth and live and give as much and as generously as you can, and to share it with others. So thank you. Follow along for more financial tips, or send me a message at my Gmail account on screen. And if you have any questions, please let me know.